Wouldn't it be easier to just date your own race? And hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to the Zebra Tribe fam. So today I've got another special video for you guys. It's going to be a sit down video where I address 8 questions that interracial couples are tired of hearing. Now, y'all are probably wondering, where's Aaron? Well, when making these kind of videos, I do prefer to have Aaron here. And so a lot of them, you will generally see the both of us, but for some of them, you will see me because I have my videos planned out and sometimes it's a little bit inconvenient trying to wait for hubby to get in. So I also just want to point out that some of these questions, as much as they are annoying for us interracial couples to hear, we understand too that there are people that are just genuinely curious, but sometimes it just gets like over the top frustrating. But here I am, I make videos, and so I'm just going to address the questions and answer them for you guys, just for the fun of it. Yeah, jumping into it, one of the first questions that people tend to ask is, how does your family feel about you being in an interracial relationship? And like I said, I might go over some of these videos multiple times because this might be a part 1 just featuring me, and the next might be part 2 just where hubby answers. So if you guys want to see that, definitely leave a comment down below. Yeah, for me, honestly, it was never a thing like that. My parents never said, oh my gosh, growing up, you gotta marry a black man. They never said you gotta marry anyone in particular. My parents are not like that. I'm from a family that we're very open. We're Jamaicans, of course, and we have our culture and we do like to embrace our culture, but at the same time, they're not like, oh my gosh, you gotta go over here. So when I introduced Aaron to my family, it was not a big deal in the least. Like, they never questioned, never really asked about race. They cared about the basics that every parent really cares about. Does he love you? Does he care? Is he educated? Does he, you know what I mean? Things like that. You're dating, I guess, a white man or a Canadian man. Are you worried about, I don't know, the cultural stereotypes that goes along with the ethnicity that you're dating? No, don't care per se. Like, there's nothing, I don't know. I met my husband, loved my husband, fell in love with him. I probably said that backwards, but outside of that, I don't really care about all the other things that anyone else has to say because it's, you know, it doesn't affect them. It's my life, and if I make that choice, I think I'm okay with it. Snide kind of remark would be to say, well, he's Canadian. There's not much to really that people say, but it really shouldn't matter whether you're Canadian, you're Korean, you are Japanese. It shouldn't really matter. And if you love a person, you really shouldn't be focused on the stereotypes that goes along with them. Like, I don't get it. Wouldn't it be easier to just date your own race? And you know, I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think there might be some, I think overall it could be. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been like this invested in anyone in my own race. I'm not saying that I've never made it this far, I should say. So it could be. I don't know. But I think overall in my mind, I would probably think yes. The thing is, even when you're just of the same, even if, like, this can't just be a thing just for being black, like black and black marriages, pro-black couples relationship, because at the end of the day, black people come from all different places and there are so many different cultures pertaining to them, and you can encounter the same struggles and the issues that we are dealing with in interracial marriages, so like, or that you do deal with in interracial marriages. So honestly, you might, depending on if you're marrying someone of the exact same culture, the exact same, you know, they have the same faith, the same upbringing, the same blah, blah, blah. Like, it might, but it may not at the same time, given all the other factors that people don't often consider. Like, for instance, like, you could have a Jamaican couple, a Jamaican person marrying, you know, someone from Africa. And our cultures might be very different, but it doesn't mean that it can't work, and it doesn't mean that it will immediately work because they're both black. Like, there's definite cultural differences and things that one will have to navigate through or work out, just in the same way that I would have to maybe work out marrying someone of a completely different race and background. Oh my gosh, this is one that I have heard, and people don't generally jump at me with the question, but they ask it in such like a little, I don't know, it's like a sneaky way. It's like, think about the kids. Like, what about the kids? In general, I'm not gonna say that it never, like, it didn't cross my mind to worry about my kids, just in terms of like, okay, they're gonna be mixed. But initially that was never the case. Like, I just had my kids with my husband and I thought my kids were just beautiful kids. I don't expect anyone else to see differently, even though it's a cruel world and we know that people don't think everyone's beautiful. I get it, but I just didn't expect that. And overall we've managed okay. We've got to where we've gotten, and even in our case, even if I married a black man, my kids would very much be subjected to stereotypes just the same. So it's not gonna make that much of a difference because I'm already black. In my case, I don't see where the options what options would really just change the idea of my kids not being bullied. Because if I had full-blown black kids, I would still have to worry about that. I have mixed kids, I still have to worry about that. So there's nothing really there to me, but people do think of those things all the time and they just see it one way. They have a hard time looking outside the box. They have a hard time seeing couples or interracial couples with mixed kids, and they're busy just thinking about all these negative things. I'm not saying you should be completely naive in your relationship. I'm not saying you shouldn't give things thought, but you really have to give it thought and make sense of it, because if you're going to be held back as to why you don't want to find love within a specific culture because of this and that, then you might miss out, because some of the things that people think in general are not, it's not so straightforward. And the same thing could apply very much to their own race, even if they were the same race couple, you know, pro-black couple, whatever. Like, so it's just important to think things through a little bit. Okay, so another question that I get is, do you only date white guys? And the answer is no. Aaron's actually the first white guy I date. It just so happens to be the one white guy I married. And if you don't know, we've been together for 16, almost 17 years, and that is a long time. So no, it wasn't exactly a thing. I've like casually spoke to guys in my race, but not fully like really dated. And it's not like I was against dating a black man. That would be weird. Honestly, whenever I hear those kind of things, I am left kind of baffled, because I'm like, I could not think that way. My dad is a black man who I love and completely look up to. My brother is a black man who I love and have so much respect for. It's weird. Like, I don't know. The whole question for me is just all types of weird. I'm black as well, so I cannot like not like my own race and not want to date my own race. It makes no sense to me. And for people who are like that, I just like want to kind of encourage them to evaluate their reasoning behind what they're saying. And I've heard, but I know, and I also have heard where some of the people are coming from, because some people will say that, well, you get treated better. The white man treats you a little better, or he appreciates you a little better. And I don't have much to compare it to in terms of the treatment I'm getting here in comparison to what I could possibly get in another long-term invested relationship, because I've never had that. But those are some of the topics that people do touch base on, and those are some of the reasonings as to why people make their choices. I can't say it's completely bad or it's completely good, but I do know that generalization is not a good thing when you start generalizing everybody and claiming that everyone can do something or everyone will take care of you like that, because we've witnessed other interracial relationships on here that have been on YouTube and they look solid and then things fall apart. And it just goes to show you that those kind of things can happen in any race, shape. Like, it doesn't matter who you are or what race you are. Relationships can fall apart just like any other, and not one race or one culture is just better than the other, and so we should have an open mind to those things. The next question, I gotta hurry because I realize that my video is already so long, but the next question is, can you help me find a guy that's from this background, ethnicity, from this race? No, I'm joking. I don't know how to do that. Honestly, I'm gonna have another topic coming on, so it's technically kind of like a part 2. It's to this, well, maybe yeah, maybe you'll see the part 2 to this coming up after. We'll see, whatever order it comes in. But I will have a sections of like the interracial do's and don'ts, or the do's and don'ts when dating outside your race. Those could be my tips and tricks to help you if you're in search of just, I don't know, something different and you just want to date outside your race because you just do. That's okay too. But in terms of having a tip and saying this is what you got to do, I don't necessarily have it. Just be open-minded, be open to finding love in different shades, different colors, different cultures. Like, it's okay. But you do really have to evaluate stuff as you do venture off into something completely different than your own, because if you don't spend time evaluating it, when you get into it, it could definitely pose as a threat and your relationship could fall apart if you don't if you just don't know ahead what you're getting into and you're not prepared to make sacrifices and all that stuff. So, but stay tuned for the other videos, guys. I've got a ton of other videos like this if you're into this coming up, so stay tuned. You got to hit the like button, help get this video to, I'd say, 100 likes. Is that a lot to ask for these days? I don't know, but help get this video there, as well as hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. On to the next question. Number 7 for me, don't you get frustrated not being able to express yourself in your own language? For me, my relationship, for me, it's not that difficult because I don't have another language per se, but I'm Jamaican, so I do have a dialect. In terms of my dialect, Aaron understands my dialect, and when I get frustrated, I will talk in my dialect. So, and even with my kids, it's not just with him. I'll speak in my dialect to my kids and to him, and he understands it. So I don't have any real issues there. For him, he's just Canadian, so he just, even though his background is German and Polish, but he doesn't speak either of those languages. So for me, it's pretty easy, and for him, it's pretty easy. It's not, we don't face that kind of struggle, but I do realize that for some people that they might face that kind of struggle. And yeah, it might be frustrating for sure if you do have another language and you want to speak it, or you're fluent in it, for whatever culture, whatever country you might be living in, and you both speak that language, but your partner's language is still their primary language, if you know what I mean. And when they get frustrated, they may not know all the words in this language that they're adapting to. Sure, they might feel some frustration there. And the last question, y'all. Okay, so the last question is, do you get a lot of stares when you go in public? Do you get a lot of stares when you go on dates? And before, we did a ton. I think before it was like a big deal to people, especially when I was growing up, and 15 years ago when we first got together, it was a huge thing. There weren't as many interracial couples as there are now, and so it was a struggle. But you know what, we kind of went with it, and it was always me. I feel like for Aaron, he didn't even think twice. Like, I wasn't the first black girl he dated. He's dated other black girls before me, and so it wasn't, I guess he was used to it, but for me it was very new, dating someone else outside my race. I mean, it was my first real relationship too. So, but it was different getting all the stares, or getting all the you know, some of the negativity that may come with it, and he didn't notice it. And that, I think that, I don't know, it didn't really frustrate me, but I thought sometimes it was just like, are you serious? How did you not see those people staring at us? But yeah, we did get it a ton back in the day. Now I feel like we still get it, but it's kind of simmered down. And now even when people stare, I feel like they're staring at for different reasons now, because now we have evolved, we've grown up, we've had kids, 4 of them, and I feel like people look at us and it's like, oh, you know, look, like they've got a lot of kids. Or, oh, sometimes I think one of the main questions that I have gotten on here is, are those kids all his? Or, you know, I think they automatically look at me because I'm the black woman. They already assume that I'm the mom of all those kids, but they're always questioning if, like, he's the father of those kids, of all of them. Or because we have some that are much older and some that are much younger, especially having a baby now, they probably think that this is my new marriage or something. And it's like, no, he's the dad of all of them, I'm the mom of all of them. We've just been blessed with the opportunity to, you know, kind of have more kids, and we're just embracing it. yeah, so yeah, we still get the stares, but I don't know if it's all for the same reasons, and it is what it is. We just embrace it. And when in the past, when I used to get annoyed when people just stared all the time, and some of it was not like an inviting stare, I would sometimes just give a little wave like, I see you, and hi. And it would sometimes warm people's heart a little bit, and other times you can just see where they're like, but that's pretty much it. These are the eight questions that every interracial couple is just sick and tired of hearing. Like I said, for me, it's not that I'm sick and tired of hearing them all, because I do understand people are learning and people are curious and people want to know, but at the same time, sometimes it can get a little annoying, but I don't take it personally, and it is what it is because it's different. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you can get all of our latest update. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, as well as check us out on Instagram at the Zebra Tribe Danielle. Much love.